There will be a day, I imagine, where there'll be a choice for me and a choice for him. Just how serious are you taking this? Like, just how important is this? And this is a story over at USA Today. And this comes out of that report that some of you may have seen from the Aspen Institute about youth soccer. John Solomon, research director for the Aspen Institute Sport and Society program, they did a survey. This was specifically on New York and New Jersey. But I mean, they think about this as fairly representative. There's some issues that are different in New York than they would be in other places because of density. But let's just look at these numbers. According to the Aspen survey, completed by 693 youth soccer players who live in New York or New Jersey, they most value playing with friends, 48%, having fun, 46%, improving skills, 45%, winning, 23%, and pursuing scholarships. They rank much lower. And yet here we are. The system is driven almost entirely by competitive goals, often overlooking the sport's broader physical, mental, social, and academic benefits. This is in that report. And again, this is like the question that is posed by Stephen Borelli at USA Today is, can the World Cup bring back fun in American youth soccer? Right? And as I have a 5-year-old who is embarking upon his athletic journey right now, as I stare down the barrel of what youth sports look like in America, as I get ready to see if I'm going to put my kid in this soccer program or that soccer program, at this point in his life, it should just be about participation, learning some basic skills, and having some fun. There will be a day, I imagine, where there'll be a choice for me and a choice for him. Just how serious are you taking this? Like, just how important is this? Aspen Sport and Society has a signature initiative called Project Play, and their goal is to build healthy communities through sports, get more kids playing sports. Soccer is obviously a major part of this, and you know, again, like, are we a country that cannot pull it back from where we are with just how intense we are about youth sports, and specifically our sport of soccer, because of the money in the machine? Solomon saying there's this idea of creating transparency and oversight in youth sports organizations, because right now there is not a lot of that. This is not going to change overnight about how highly commercialized sports is. But one thing we talk about in the report is to protect families, try to restore trust. Federal and state authorities could require mandatory financial transparency for all youth sports organizations, right? We're getting to that level of this is such a big business, and parents need to know if they can trust the people running these youth clubs. And we need financial transparency. Because right now, highly isolated, very limited transparency, and this, right? And some of you will know this. The report notes, for example, how club coaches over-roster teams to maximize fee collection, effectively sidelining players to fund professional staff. So they're signing up more kids at these exorbitant rates to play youth soccer. Those kids aren't playing because you got too many kids and not enough spots on the field. And they're using those fees to pay the coaches, pay the staff, run the club. Again, this is the machine as it runs. Now, we have talked about pay to play fairly recently on this show. And the easy, pat answer to the problems of American soccer that everybody throws out, that answer is get rid of pay to play. Right? Every commentator, analyst, former player that has an opinion on American soccer, every former national team coach is out there yelling about pay to play, or making this the pointed issue of why American soccer cannot reach its full potential because of pay to play. We need an environment where kids do not have to pay thousands of dollars to get reasonable coaching so they can be good soccer players. The money has to come from somewhere else. So, I mean, again, how do we get there? It highlights how the best soccer programs recognize that early athletic ability rarely predicts future success. This has long been an issue in American soccer, right? Just because a kid is fast or big or whatever it is at 6, 7, 8 years old doesn't mean they're going to be a good soccer player. Instead, they prioritize positive environments and quality coaching. Project Play recommends equal playing time for all children through age 12, arguing that benching players stifles growth. How can we know if a player is good if they just aren't playing? Now, again, and I see it in the chat, replace pay to play with what? With what? Like, the money's not coming from the parents. Where's it coming from? Now, there's the largesse of foundations and individuals who could write big checks. Call up your local billionaire and see if he'll fund you soccer in your area. And that piecemeal approach, and again, just kind of hoping people want to build American soccer by investing at this level rather than, buying a soccer team or signing up for NWSL expansion, we'll get to in a second. Right? Those things are maybe possibilities. But that doesn't fix the whole system. That's sort of like a Band-Aid here, a Band-Aid there. And I don't know. I mean, this is going to be incremental. This is going to be over time. The more clubs we have, and I don't think this is a panacea either, but the more clubs we have that have an interest in developing players for their own benefit, whether it's to win soccer games or to sell those players on. And I don't love that because that can be exploitative as well. The idea that, hey, we just need to get as many kids into our system as possible because we need to get some talent out of this so we can sell a kid for $1 or $2 or $5 million and obviously keep our business going. Right? That business. Now, there are pay-to-play situations in Europe. Don't think that doesn't happen, especially in an era where specialized coaching is often the way for rich parents, wealthy parents, people who have money to give their kid an advantage. In this country, that's largely been based on scholarships for college. But we're now getting to a place where, all right, professional soccer is now a viable pathway for a lot of American kids. How do you get it? How do you create a pathway that's not going to cost a family $50,000 over the life of a kid's career to get there? And again, less talented kids subsidizing the other kids cause parents issues. Right. Let's sign up a kid because his parents can pay, but he's not good enough, but we're going to get him playing time because his parents paid. Whereas a kid who maybe is a better player, but isn't paying as much, or we gave him a scholarship, maybe he's got an issue. All right. So that's the World Cup update as we are 50 days away from the tournament. Man, can the World Cup bring fun back to youth soccer? Such a big question. You saw it there in that last slide. In fact, let me put that up one more time just to show it off. The theme gets back to Solomon's question about the lasting impact of the World Cup, which the report underscores. What if the legacy of the World Cup for kids is pretty simple? Return fun to more kids so soccer becomes a lifelong pastime rather than a stressful elite pursuit. And the question I will throw on top of that is whether or not that will get us where we as fans want our game to be in terms of our domestic league's strength, how good that league is compared to others around the world, and whether our national team on the men's side can win a World Cup. And obviously, this is also tied into girls soccer. Gets a lot of mention in the story at USA Today from Stephen Borelli. Go read it because that's an issue as well. Giving access to girls who want to play soccer. So much of this comes down to field space. So much of this comes down to encouraging kids, giving them an opportunity to play pickup soccer, because one thing we are very good at when it comes to soccer in the United States is compartmentalizing it, segmentizing a kid's life. You go to school, you do your homework, you play with your friends. Oh, but soccer is this very official on the schedule thing you do for a certain amount of time. It's regimented. You always got a coach around. You've always got a drill to do, not just go out and play some soccer. And I don't think that's a panacea either. Pickup soccer doesn't just make a World Cup champion, but pickup soccer is important towards the idea of a culture that has kids wanting to play and then translating those skills that they learn playing pickup soccer to being one day maybe professional athletes.